of Indian knowledge systems, IKS, at all levels of education. UGC guidelines aim to train teachers to familiarize and enthuse them about IKS subjects. The UGC guidelines on IKS provide for higher educational institutions to offer short-term credit-based courses on Indian heritage and culture. The courses may include universal human values, Vedic mathematics, yoga, Ayurveda, Sanskrit, Indian languages, music and classical dance forms to attract international learners to India. Empaneling local artists in HEIs. Empanelment of artists, artisans in residence in HEIs as Guru, Param Guru, and Parmeshti Guru will harness the creative talent and intellectual resources available within the country. Another significant initiative is the guidelines on incorporating Indian knowledge systems, IKS, into curricula. At least 50% of credits allotted to IKS should be related to the major discipline. Malvi Mission Teachers Training Program. To train our teachers and contribute to their capacity building, UGC has launched this full-fledged teachers training program. This program aims to train more than 15 lakh teachers through the 111 Madan Mohan Malvi Teachers Training Centers spread across the country. Establishment of research and development cells in HEIs. RDC will create a conducive environment for enhanced research productivity, encourage collaboration at the local, national, and international levels, and facilitate more than 1,600 R&D cells have been established in higher educational institutions. Minimum standards and procedures for award of PhD degree. Through these new UGC regulations, there will be ease for taking admissions in PhD. Curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate programs. UGC framework provides 4-year UG programs as honors and honors with research. Exit points at first, second, third year available with option to rejoin within 7 years for student. Pursuing 2 academic programs simultaneously. Students can undergo 2 programs, 1, both online, 2, 1 online and 1 physical, and 3, both physical. Internship Apprenticeship Embedded Degree Program. With the help of UGC guidelines, students can take up to 20% of total credits by doing internship or apprenticeship. Professor of Practice. Bringing distinguished experts from various fields such as engineering, science, technology, management to mentor the students. UGC has also launched Professor of Practice portal. Guidelines on life skills. It has been introduced with the aim to encourage life skills in students, seeking participation from both the students and the faculty. Skills such as communication, professionalism, management, and leadership and universal human values are considered to be crucial for the holistic development of learners. Online and open and distance learning education. Well-performing HEIs are permitted to offer online programs to achieve the desired gross enrollment ratio and improve access and provide an enabling environment for all. Swayam, study web of active learning for young aspiring minds, aims to take the best teaching and learning resources to all. Students can avail of up to 40% credits in a semester through the Swayam platform and can transfer credits to the parent institute. Transforming single-stream HEIs into multidisciplinary institutions. The UGC guidelines provide a roadmap for single-stream institutions to transform as multidisciplinary institutions by merging, forming clusters, and new departments. Accessibility guidelines and standards for higher educational institutions and universities. These guidelines ensure that standards are well kept and maintained for Divyangjans in campuses. Credit-based course on pedagogical aspects for teaching Divyangjan and specific learning disability. These guidelines focus on pedagogical aspects of teaching persons with disabilities, which will aim to provide flexibility in the selection of courses to them. Fostering social responsibility and community engagement in higher educational institutions in India. The UGC guidelines provide 2 credit courses for students. Guidelines on Mulya Pravah 2.0, inculcation of human values and professional ethics in higher education institutions. UGC has guidelines on promotion of physical fitness, sports, students' health, welfare, psychological and emotional well-being at higher educational institutions of India. Guidelines for Women's Cell, providing basic facilities and amenities for a safe, secure environment for women in HEIs. To create bridge between industry and academia, UGC has launched guidelines on university industry linkage system, creation of the industry relations cell at the university, and creation of the university relations cell in the industry will enhance these partnerships. To increase students' participation from the social economically disadvantaged groups SEDGs, UGC has launched guidelines to provide equitable opportunities to them. It will encourage institutions to set up SEDG cell in the campus. UGC has launched guidelines for internship and research internship for undergraduate students to improve employability and research aptitude of learners. With joint participation of board members, institutional leaders, faculty, students and staff, each institution will make their own institutional development plan. It will include the progress, goals, vision, and mission of the institution.
Friends, we have just now seen many reforms being rolled out by UGC in the video. It is our collective responsibility to make sure that these reforms are implemented at a rapid pace across the country so that the higher educational system in our country is transformed.
For complete details about all the NEP initiatives, you can visit UGC website www.ugc.gov.in.
Director Sir Professor B.S. Sahay to felicitate Shri Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary Department of Higher Education, UT of Jammu. Beautiful character, sir. leader whose insights and guidance have been instrumental in the shaping the trajectory of our institution. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to the Director Sir of IIM Jammu, Professor Sahay.
Good morning. Good morning. Big one. That's- I would like to thank for the listener for taking your time and finding the really important for all of you. I remember that once I was I can do. I really like the concept that if I have a choice, I must study that. But what is to happen if you are to get official BA or your or you can't move to promise, you can't move to there is an opportunity with ample choice. But the question is that how to with framing the policy is very but implementation is the most challenging. I'd just like to take a look at how we like to do it. Because the first time before the good, good, I think you can do of competing people, they can join MBA programs at MBA without like catch a sense of combined applications. They will nobody we did it. And response is fully. Similarly, to important time with what is the work that something that we decided that okay, let's come together. Let's IIT aims some of the picture. And we started offering a course on the hospital administration. Where we take care of management. Aims take care of health care. Because the body is we are doing a lot of research. You see, in India, research very common. Where here we try to apply so that more and more suppose we are offering some elective here, and somebody from IIT or in wants to take it, or for that person from anybody wants to take that. So this we introduce first program, integrated program, management, that and we are giving all type of what is important here to understand very now coming back to what how I can what is current. The sign and use the Jammu reading and we are signing the process management. I think when it's one, we just can't think in isolation. You can't have this silence thing. If you have any expertise, if you need anything, would like you to pick up down, like the floor is going to be coming and we should try to explore how this students can get benefit from all the located in Jammu. All of you are aware of this that Jammu is the only place in the country that free of national. So I think that is a great opportunity. What is much time, what is green and like this one. Let's work together for betterment. I'm sure that collectively we can make it. Thank you.
So much for the the words are truly inspiring and set a tone of enthusiasm for together. Now, I would like to call our esteemed guest, Alok Kumar, the Principal Secretary of the Department of Higher Education, UT of Jammu and Kashmir, to share his esteemed thoughts.
Uh, Certainly not elderly. I would take this opportunity as that I'm you know, it's culture of physical education. Widespread understanding and support. You would hear everyone talking about this. It's not limited or constrained by training only with the higher education and education institutions. For general public also process. Academic programs were restructured and focus on modern computer. And let me inform the Honorable Chairman UGC that we are one of the first institutions and we get this right away into council. Curriculum has been revamped as per the 4-year undergraduate curriculum framework, aligning with NEP guidelines. This was done as per the curriculum and framework for FY 20 by extending the duration of undergraduate programs. The revised curriculum placed an heightened emphasis on practice of critical thinking, research, skills, and interdisciplinary research, thereby equipping students with the competencies necessary for pursuing honors and research. And I must congratulate the students for the application for all the vice chancellors, principal, directors, hoping given diverse professional support catering to NSQ and even non-NSQ. Implementation of academic plans of credit, bridging order, national academic policy, streamlining academic operations. Workshops and training programs are being regularly conducted, familiarize stakeholders with the functionalities and benefits of the country. This ensures widespread adoption and effective utilization. Investments have been made in venturing department funded most of these development work which is now finance they have also adopted multiple and partnership with National Skill Development Council, skill-based training, helping employees with uniform acting calendar for evaluation. So we have national fighting sources of funding opportunities. have the power pressure in order to put the ambition. This has empowered, really empowered the sector and also contributed global knowledge. Furthermore, have play a pivotal role in credential learning and mentorship. I institute with hands-on mentorship made 100% of history. The department has an ambition plan and the national and department that design and simplify the application system. The proposals for and acceptance. This includes centralized admissions to smart based on response, ease of access, transparency, and account. The department has developed an in-house 360 degree feedback and other. Universities in KSA have been awarded many international research projects that are second year college, friends, name of schools, projects in collaboration with the university. HED has plans to establish a research foundation by research. Department has also boards like IIM, for and knowledge. These partnerships specify a commitment to leveraging expertise, resources, and the best practices of people in quality, relevance, and effectiveness are efficient. That challenge, in order to overcome this challenge, we are prioritizing investment in education, consumption, and renovation. We have allocated adequate funds from government budget, exploring partnerships with the private sector and agency level. We are well ahead in embracing technology. Skill development and founders of this, we are fostering industry strengthening career by the differential soft skill development. The story so far is a movement of how to shift it. However, we further identify various approaches to implement anything. This approach roadmap. I'm sure that the workshop that you would be doing today would give us a definite roadmap. And of technology. Given my understanding, definitely set up the long-term goals. For example, under multidisciplinary, you can have a short-term goal of 50 programs. Mid-term goal can be structured from department. Establishing the center for multidisciplinary. Such a new department. The long-term goal in this vertical can be special community-based educational programs with the support of local artists, entrepreneurs, etc. And of course, similarly, you can set goal-oriented targets in areas like equity, inclusion, and hiring. Global outreach and all of these come up with tangible steps. Taking it towards the academic. I see my responsibility in terms of promoting collaboration, mediating, building consensus, empowering stakeholders, addressing stakeholders' needs, promoting inclusivity, monitoring progress, policy analysis. I can assure you support at the department level, several key objectives and reforms. Inclusion. It is evident that the journey towards a integrated education system is both. For collective efforts that enable in restructuring academic programs, fostering interdisciplinary learning, promoting skill development, and embracing digital innovation. However, amidst our achievements, we must remain cognizant of the challenges that lie ahead. Infrastructural deficiencies, as I said, geographical constraints, you are well aware of that, and the imperative to enhance skill development and employability. It is necessary that we confront these challenges with determination, creativity, and collaboration, leveraging the expertise and resources of all stakeholders involved. I once again extend my deepest gratitude to all the organizers, participants, and stakeholders for their dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to the causes of the education. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Colleagues on the dais and all the distinguished academicians, faculty members, my namaskars to all of you. Congratulations to the director, IIM, Professor Sahay and his team for having this great institution inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister a few days ago. This is a unique program on NEP. When we wanted to conduct this program, Professor Sahay offered his collaboration with UGC and provided this wonderful infrastructure and support to us. On behalf of UGC, I would like to thank Professor Sahay for all the help that his institution has provided to us. For monitoring the implementation of NEP 2020 and also handhold our educational institutions across the country for the successful implementation of NEP 2020. We divided the country into 5 zones, and in each one, we conduct a day-long program involving the vice chancellors and the colleges of that region. Today, in this conference, what is pleasantly surprising to me is that the majority of the participants here are colleges. This day-long meeting, I would like to thank you for taking time off from your responsibilities and for being with us today. We have about 1,150 universities and nearly 45,000 colleges. And implementation of NEP 2020 is definitely a monumental task for us because of the diversity that we have in our educational system and also the scale at which we have to do. If you look at the human history, last 5,000 years or 10,000 years, while the human societies are developing, there were also challenges at any given time. We had natural calamities, we had pandemics, we had issues of poverty, we had issues of wars and other threats. But human ingenuity is so great. Collectively, we worked towards improving our quality of life, our standard of living. And at the same time, we also noticed that when we are trying to build better life, we need to focus on sustainable development. We lead a life in harmony with both the living and non-living beings around us. And it is that perseverance, that focus, that commitment of human beings which led to better and better systems which are making our lives more comfortable, more in spite of the challenge that we are facing as human societies. The same thing is true when we want to implement NEP 2020, because as academicians, as teachers, including myself, I'm a teacher, that's my passion. We want to make sure that high quality education is provided to our students, because we know that education, the central objective of education is to enhance human capacity. And today, India is the only country in the world with such youth population. People below 25 years are nearly 50% in our country. And when we are on the path of making our country a fully developed country by 2047, it is this youth who will be laying the bricks, the foundations, and work towards achieving the fully developed country by 2047. Therefore, collectively, it is our responsibility to rise the occasion so that our future generation will remember the contributions made by academic administrators and teachers like you in laying the path for the fully developed country by 2047. If you look at our younger people, you find few very, very visible characteristics in them. Our present youth, they want to question the status quo. They don't feel comfortable with the status quo. They want to bring changes. And they can do that only by being critical thinkers. And if we want to encourage them to be critical thinkers, we need to, inside the classroom, outside the classroom, we need to create that ecosystem where our students will have the freedom to stand up and ask us questions. And that is what is the meaning of being a critical thinker. Because today, our youth, they want to be problem solvers and they want to be solution providers. And that's the reason why you see today India is the third largest ecosystem for the startup companies. Our Indian youth are willing to take risks. They want to experiment. And obviously, when you take risks, there are bound to be failures. But our youth want to learn from the failures and move forward. As teachers and educational institutions, are we ready to encourage and sustain these traits among our Indian youth? Are we working hard enough to make sure that we don't make our students conformists, but critical thinkers? Friends, that is why, in spite of the challenges that we have, we need to implement the NEP 2020. Let's say I ask all of you in this hall, I request you to become marathon runners. And I say, I will provide you training for the next 6 months. At the end of 6 months, some of you may be excellent marathon runners. Some of you may be medium. Some of you may still be, it may be very difficult for you to become marathon runners because you are at different levels of fitness. The same thing is true in the case of our educational institutions also. We have outstanding institutions such as IIMs and IITs, outstanding colleges and universities. But there is huge diversity. You have colleges and universities which are located in rural areas. You have huge youth who come from socio-economically weaker sections of our society. So how do you ensure that when there are such diversities, we keep pushing our boundaries and implement NEP 2020? So this is where I would like to suggest a couple of ideas to you on how NEP 2020 can be implemented by choosing some of the reforms which may be more relevant to you, which may not require additional funding requirements for you. So let me identify a couple of those things. First of all, in India today, there is a huge advancement in terms of building the digital public infrastructure. We have become a role model for the world in terms of the quality of services that we provide to people across the country using this digital public infrastructure. And we need to bring the similar kind of digital public infrastructure in education also, so that there is a good interface of academic governance and the digital technology. So the first step towards the integration of digital technology and academic governance, in order to provide more flexibility and mobility to our students, is the academic bank of credits. You do not require any infrastructure, you do not require any funds. We have the central digital platform ABC, where please ensure that each and every of your student in your college and university, they are enrolled on this academic bank of credits. This is the first step. Have you done that? Some of you say that yes, we have done, but some of you still have to do. Please go back and examine the records of your college and university and make sure that every student is on the academic bank of credits. That is the first step. The second step is ensuring that all the academic credentials of the students are uploaded on the DigiLocker, which is then integrated with the unique ID that the student gets when the student is registered on the academic bank of credits. And this unique ID is called APAR, APAAR, Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry, unique ID. And this APAR is going to be given to every student who joins right in the first standard in the school. And this APAR ID will continue as the student moves on from the school education to the college education to the university education. And this is a unique ID using which we can track the progress of the students. So, will you please ensure that every student's academic records are uploaded on the DigiLocker? If you have any difficulties, we have your principal secretary here, Shri Alok Kumar. We can coordinate with the state government and provide you the technical training required to upload the documents and maintain all the records on the academic bank of credits. This is my promise to you. And number two, encourage all the universities in your union territory to be part of the CUET for your admissions. The Common University Entrance Test has provided a level playing ground to the students to get admission in educational institutions of their choice. The students may be coming from rural background, urban background, or any other socio-economic background. You can attempt CUET and get admission in some of the best universities in our country. To our pleasant surprise, last year we found that from Jammu and Kashmir, the number of students who registered for CUET went up by a factor of 7. That's the highest increase in the number of students from a given union territory or state across the country. And that happened in J&K. That means many of the students coming from our region, J&K region, they are studying across the country in various central universities and in other places. And this year, we also are bringing some changes in CUET. NTA is planning to make it conduct it in hybrid mode so that we can use the schools and colleges as the test centers, and the students do not have to travel longer distances. So this time we will ensure that there will be enough centers in Jammu and Kashmir so that our students can easily attempt this CUET. My dear friends, when I was going around in the hall before the beginning of the program, I was talking to some of you and you said, our students want to take some good courses in emerging areas, but we do not have enough teachers. We do not have the expertise to offer these courses. Let me tell you that in SWAYAM portal, we have more than 3,000 courses in emerging areas. I would like to encourage all the principals and the vice chancellors to carry out a special drive in your respective universities and colleges and encourage the students to register for these final courses. We are also looking at the possibility of letting the universities themselves conduct the examinations for these SWAYAM courses so that you can conduct the examinations along with your regular examinations and there will be no delay in announcing the results. Of course, from SWAYAM point of view also, we are streamlining everything so that there are no delays. Can I expect from you this commitment that you will encourage and you will provide information to your students by having special meetings with them and tell them these are the kinds of courses that are available and you please register for these courses. One more thing that I would like to tell you, that when we expect the colleges and universities to transform themselves into centers of excellence, regulators also have to be flexible. The regulators should be facilitators rather than stifling your growth. That is why using NEP 2020 as a roadmap, UGC is coming out with many regulations and guidelines to provide you that kind of autonomy with, of course, coupled with the accountability so that you can grow in the domains in which you work. Your college could be arts college, it could be science college. In whichever domain you are offering your education, you should strive to become a center of excellence. And towards that goal, we have focused on two things. One, how do you provide quality education to our students? If I want to ask you whether you are a fit person or not, if you want to find whether you are a physically fit person, somebody has to test you. And then these testing results had to be compared with certain standards. And that is what the assessment and accreditation process does. It establishes certain common standards that are expected from all colleges and universities across the country. And it is important for all of you to participate in this assessment and accreditation. But however, because of the existing system that we have, currently we give a score on a scale of 1 to 4, and we give different kinds of, A+, A++, B+, and so on. We found that this is causing some kind of hesitation in the minds of the institutions to come forward and go through this assessment and accreditation. So that is why we are bringing a lot of reforms in the assessment and accreditation also. Now we are going to introduce the binary accreditation concept so that all of you can participate. And this will be a data-driven process. It will be a very, very simple process, and there will be no physical visits to the colleges and universities for participating in this binary accreditation process. So once you go through the binary accreditation process, you will understand whether you meet the minimum standards that are expected in your college. If you don't, then you know in which areas you need to strengthen so that you can come for the assessment and accreditation. And there will be no stigma of any of these grades that we give to the assessment and accreditation. But however, once large number of colleges become accredited, then you need to aspire to achieve other levels of excellence in your institutions. So therefore, we are going to introduce maturity-based assessment and accreditation. And that will be level 1 to level 4 for your excellence within our country. And level 5 will be for those who have demonstrated excellence not only within our country, but globally also. And thus, that process will be implemented in next 1 year. And that is going to be a stringent process. And you need to really work hard to reach these levels. So, my dear friends, please ensure that once the binary accreditation scheme is announced, and I also request Shri Alok Kumarji to encourage each and every college to participate in this assessment and accreditation process. And two, I said on two things we are focusing. One is assessment and accreditation. And the other one is we have introduced a light but tight regulation for giving autonomy to the educational institutions in our country. There is an online process. Please do apply for this autonomy. We believe as a regulator that more autonomy, more freedom we give to our educational institutions, more growth will happen in the educational institutions. But however, we have also found that when we give autonomy to the colleges, some of the universities, they are not passing on this autonomy to the colleges. The universities say, we will give you only 20% autonomy. We will give you only 30% autonomy. I think this goes against the very concept of giving autonomy to our colleges. I urge all the universities in J and K to have the same kind of trust that we have in the university system. You need to trust our colleges also and pass on this autonomy to them. This will help them to revise their curriculum. This will help them to adopt continuous assessment schemes in their colleges so that the students are also benefited. So the way we have designed this program is instead of having long lectures, after this program, we will, after a short break, we will break up into different teams. And each team will brainstorm on a given theme. And together you will make some recommendations out of this brainstorming that you will have. And then we will come here. Each team leader will make a brief presentation. You can speak out with your notes, or if you have a PPT, you can put the PPT here and make a brief presentation. And at the end of each brief presentation, we will have a question-answer session. I feel honored and privileged to be part of this meeting because I can take a lot of questions from the academic administrators of the colleges, because that is where you see the real challenges. And I would like to sincerely hear your suggestions, your questions, the challenges that you are facing, and the solutions that you are trying to find for the successful implementation of NEP 2020. So at the end of these sessions, we will also have a short duration open question-answer session with me so that you can ask any questions without any hesitation. But friends, before I close here, I also would like to mention to you that when we want to implement NEP 2020, the issue of funding comes. Definitely our institutions require funding. And if you have noticed the announcement in the interim budget, this year, 1.2 lakh crores are assigned for education. And out of that, nearly 47,600 crores are given for higher education. And that is 7.4 increase as compared to the previous year's budget allocation for higher education. And at the same time, through PM Usha, we are trying to fund the state educational institutions and the colleges. So recently, we had our PAB meeting, and we have selected 78 universities from across the country. And the idea is to give funding under two heads. Under two heads, we have selected these educational institutions. One is multi-education and research universities, MERU scheme. And the other one is grant for supporting universities, GSU. And you will be glad to know that under both these schemes, J and K also got selected. And we are giving under MERU scheme nearly 100 crores for developing the standards of higher education in this union territory. And similarly, you will have the opportunities to compete for research funding under the National Research Foundation. One of the primary objectives of establishing NRF is to strengthen the research ecosystem in our universities and the colleges. Of course, funding will always be competitive. And that's the reason why we are asking all the universities and colleges to establish R&D cells and train your faculty members to write successful project proposals. And we have great institutions in this region. We have IIM, we have IIT, you have universities. My request to all these institutions is to collaborate with the colleges of the Union Territory and provide hand-holding and training to them so that they can write successful projects and get the funding to improve the research ecosystem in the Union Territory. I would like to stop here. We have the day-long deliberations, and I will have many more occasions at the end of each session to answer your questions. So wish you a successful day-long deliberations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So much, Professor Kumar, for your inspiring words and praising our event. You for the national anthem.
Well thought conference where we are going to do a lot together. First of all, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Honorable Chairman UGC, Professor Jagadesh Kumar and team of UGC for providing this opportunity to us to organize this conference. And I also want to mention that IIM Jammu, when this NEP 2020 was announced, that point of time we were about to launch our IPM program, and we tried to incorporate many of the component of NEP 2020 in the same program immediately. I would also like to thank Mr. Alok Kumar sir, because we have been doing a lot of work with the higher education department. We have offered multiple programs to all the principals of the colleges, also to the faculty member of colleges and the student of colleges, and try to train them on leadership and also on entrepreneurship orientation program. I would also like to thank all the principals, vice chancellors, and faculty members of different colleges for traveling to very remote places to come to this place and attend this particular conference. I'm sure that the next session which is going to have, that's going to be very wonderful. We are going to get a lot of your recommendations which can help in terms of strengthening the implementation process of NEP 2020 in the UTs of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. I would also like to thank all our colleagues who have supported for organizing this conference, our team of IT and other administration who have arranged everything in a very short period of time. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to having a lot of deliberation in the whole day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I request you?
Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga. Gahe Tav Jaya Gatha Jana Gana Mangala Dayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Jaya He Jaya 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 He